United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was just gonna ask that.
Oh,
Well, I mean, we have a minute taker, so if somebody just wants to keep track of the main things, do you wanna do that, Jan?
I can do that. Okay, I'll do roll call then too.
Okay.
Kay,
Yes.
Verna,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Jan. Okay.
And John and Kelly are absent with notice. And as we have 4 of us, we do have a quorum, so we can continue our business. And does anyone have any changes on the agenda?
10.4 ad hoc directory eval, are we still gonna talk about that or is that tabled?
Well, you can still comment on it today.
Okay, so-
What's going on?
It's not changing the agenda.
No.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no changes, the agenda is approved. And any changes, corrections, deletions on the minutes? Kay, did you have anything on the minutes?
No.
Verna? Jan? No, I do not. So we will take the minutes as they stand. And moving on to call to audience. We have several people in the audience. Does anyone have anything to say regarding our agenda items? No? Okay, thank you for attending. Director's report, Laura.
You have a written report, a couple things to touch on. Culture City is, we're working with them to get our building certified sensory inclusive. So there is some training that all the staff will be taking. It's about a half-hour video and they do have to take a test and they have to pass the test. So once we have 50% of our staff trained with Culture City, we will get a certificate to place on the door so that people know that we are trained in that area. And we will also receive some supplies that we can share with our patrons, noise canceling headphones, fidget toys, things like that. So I'm excited about that. I did my training today. It's not easy. I had to take some pretty good notes and the quiz was not easy. So it's a really good training. So I'm excited that all the staff will be taking that. The MMRNA Risk Management Conference that I went to was really good. That was a free conference too, which is always good. And I learned a lot of things that I don't usually learn in library conferences. So things about risk management, what to look for, how not to get sued for certain things. And some of the hot topics this year were the trained dogs, what do they call them? Service dogs, how to tell a service animal from a comfort animal and what the legal differences are there, things like that. And then they did some security training. So it was very worthwhile to go. I learned a lot. The FOL met on March 10th and they paid their $1 rent to us. So we will let them stay in that room for another year, gladly, because they do a lot for us. So that was a good meeting. And then the door chimes have gone in. We were gonna do just a door chime on the children's door for the kids to get out to the musical instruments once they're installed. But because we're leaving that adult door unlocked as well in the summertime, I thought it'd be important to put a chime on that so staff know when people are coming and going out that door. So both doors have chimes now. Any questions for me?
How far does the chime reach?
It's pretty far.
Can they hear it here at the front desk or?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
no, but definitely from each of the service desks. It's pretty loud when the door gets opened. And hopefully the parents will hear it. Their child goes out the door.
Great.
Any other questions?
There's no more questions. trustee reports. Kay, did you have anything?
You know, again, I started on United, what's the e-learning thing called? Anyways, I did the first 4 modules. I'm really glad I did. First couple were kind of standard. The ones that I completed is what it means to be a trustee, board meetings, board ethics, and then the 4th one, which was the longest, and it's a part 1, is called EDI, the role of trustees. And that I thought, I found that incredibly interesting, and I wasn't certain of some things. Do we have anything to assist people that may not be able to come to the library, elderly without cars?
Yep, we do have a food delivery system.
Oh, wonderful, okay.
Mhm.
'Cause I found that part of the video very interesting about making it available to everyone, so. And I'll continue, I'll do another 4 before our next meeting, but they're definitely worthwhile. They were helpful.
Good, well, thank you. Verna?
I did attend the FOL meeting and found that to be a very positive experience. As a matter of fact, they have a number of programs, and I think I left. Yeah, I did. I left the list on the table. But their big project is involvement in the garden and the items that are going to be there. They're financing quite a lot of that. So also the fact that we have a pretty close connection with the Historical Society. There's going to be some opportunities coming up for the 2 organizations to get together on some projects. So more to come on that.
Okay, good. Thank you. Jan?
Thank you, Verna, for attending FOL for me, because I was going for you and then I couldn't, so that's
Yeah, I was
all.
gonna
I
say-
can- I know.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay. And move on to financial officers report. And our finance officer is not here today, and I sit on the committee, so we will look at it. First, you have the check register. If there's any questions on any of those. As you know, we approve those whenever before any of the checks go out. Then we have the balance sheet, and just keep in mind the balance sheet is a draft until we get the audit, because the audit will make some year-end adjustments. And then you have the income statement, showing what's been spent this month, so far this year, the percentages, and what our expenses were for the month of February. Are there any questions, concerns? Okay, then I need a motion to approve the expenses for February of $90,459.11.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Jan, can you call roll call, please?
Sure. Since this is a money item, it's roll call. Kay? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, Verna? I'm sorry, that's okay. Verna?
Yes.
Jan, yes?
Yes.
Jill? Okay.
Okay, motion passes. And we'll move on to committee reports.
How
First
about
up is,
budget amendments?
there's no changes.
Oh, okay. You don't have to, it's an action item.
Is there supposed to be one in there?
Yeah.
Where is our budget?
Yeah, there is supposed to be one in there.
And there isn't.
Huh?
We looked at it in finance committee, but
I don't think it was in the packet. It
So
was-
we don't have to vote on this.
Because I didn't do the packet, it's not in the folder. It's
So,
in a different
missed it.
folder.
we can wait till next month on
Okay.
it. It's
So-
just, you know, you putting it in the accounting system.
Good.
Can I say tabled?
Or what do you want me to say?
We'll just look at it next month.
So for action item,
We'll just put it under, items for next agenda.
right, but what do I do with this? Just ignore it?
Yeah, we'll just say no change at the moment.
Okay, no change.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're moving on to committee reports, policies.
Okay, so we looked at the introduction and the employee acknowledged form last month, and there was consensus that it wasn't quite ready. Once I looked at it again, and how this is, the Gen 1, the introduction, the first page in your packet is the original. I know the watermarks didn't come through very well. And on the opposite side of that page is the original employee acknowledgement form. Once I looked at both of them and crossed out all the things that were repeated, there were only 2 paragraphs left. So the policy committee, we looked at it and we decided to combine those together instead of having one repeat the other. So the employee acknowledgement form that you have that has the red approved at the bottom that's crossed out is the one that I am proposing. And the committee has looked at it, and I think we were all pretty happy with how it turned out. So this would mean rescinding the original introduction and then approving the employee acknowledgement form that's been revised.
So the first 2 pages that we have, there's nothing going on there.
No, those are the originals, just so you could see
Okay.
where it all came from.
So
But
those 2 will be rescinded.
But do we, it's an action item, do we have to move to rescind?
We would have to rescind the
Yeah.
introduction.
Okay.
Just the introduction.
Okay, not the acknowledgement form.
So,
Did anybody have any, before we do the rescind, did anybody have anything on the actual acknowledgement form? Any changes? No.
just the date.
And that's already
Yeah.
crossed out. I just had one change. The very first sentence where it says Brandon Township Public Library Board of Trustees, I think you need to take the Board of Trustees out of there. It's just the library overall. And I would like to change good to the word quality.
Quality personnel?
Yeah.
I like
Believes that quality personnel and good personnel administration.
So leave the second good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Did anyone have any other changes?
Could we add the library in quotations after Brandon Township Public Library, in parentheses? It should
Just
say
library,
library, because
okay.
that's how it continues in the.
Okay. In the, it looks like the spacing on the lines is a little bit wonky. Some of the sections have spaces, you know, blank lines between, some don't, it just needs to be fixed. Okay, if we don't have any other
very well-deserved vacation. So he has not gotten back to me on this one. So pending attorney approval, maybe, if you are comfortable with
Should we hold off for a month and have you look at it?
that.
Or
We
have you
can, but I know it's been twice already, so I didn't know if you wanted me to bring it back again.
I would prefer we just bring it back.
Bring it back.
Much of this was written by the attorney,
Well, because
correct?
it's all legal.
Yeah,
We have
it
to
is
make
very
sure
legal.
everything's,
Okay,
In our committee, I remember there was a couple things I wanted changed, but we couldn't
Yeah.
because it's attorney written,
mhm.
so.
Okay, we'll bring that back.
and on to sick leave policy.
So sick leave policy, we just had to make a couple of small changes with the last minute legislation. So this has all been approved by the attorney, and the only thing that changed is number 4, they can use all or part of their missed scheduled shifts. So they can use increments of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever they want.
Only up to the amount of hours that
That they
they've been
were
scheduled for.
Right. Mhm. And then they changed the wording for the law. It used to be as soon as practicable, they had to let us know that they needed sick time. But now it's as soon as practicable, after the employee is aware of the need for earned sick time. So just a change in the law there. And then 11 on the next page, the law before read that they could roll over all of their sick time forever. And that was changed. So we reverted it back to what our original policy said before. So those are the only changes.
Okay, did anyone else have any other changes?
No.
Jan? I had a couple, of course. On number 1A on the first page, it says sick leave shall be used for the following, and this should say for the employee's mental, to follow the format that we've used on the other ones. So you just add the word for.
Okay.
And then you could take off at the last sentence of that one for the employee, because we're already saying that.
Okay.
Where?
On A, the
On
very
A?
last, where it says for the employee, the very end of the paragraph.
Why don't I have that? Regulations.
Right here. For
Oh,
the
duh,
employee.
okay. For the employee.
And then on B, the same thing at the end of that paragraph. You can take off for a family member, because we already say that at the very beginning. It's just being redundant.
Is that okay with the attorney?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Because it's still in there.
We have to be very careful about that.
Oh, and I had a question on 2C. Do we define a domestic partner someplace in here? Or someplace else in any of our policies? I mean, I know there's this kind of common knowledge of what that
Yeah.
means, but do you think we should have a definition of what that means?
That's tricky. I don't know if you
I
can.
mean, does it mean they live in the same household? I mean, what does that mean?
Mhm. This is word for word from the law. So
We could.
But usually a law has the whole section in the
Yeah.
beginning with definitions.
mm,
I think we should just check on that.
okay, I'll check on
Yeah, usually in the law, the whole first section is just definitions of what's included.
I remember in committee, I was questioning that myself, but because it was written by the attorney, it had to stay as is.
Well, I would check that. If
Okay.
yeah, if they're
Yeah.
following the law, especially if there is a definition.
Mhm.
I think that's all I had.
Can we approve it then, or no?
I would just say subject to adding a definition if there is one.
Okay.
Were there any other changes? Entertain a motion to approve sick leave policy BENR-6.
So moved.
Second.
As amended, did you want as amended?
Yes,
Second.
as amended, sorry.
I'll second. Verna and Kay.
Verna and Kate.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm no longer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We're on to Finance Committee. And again, John's not here. Finance Committee met. We went over fixed asset, possible spending this year, necessary items. We went over the budget a little bit, and we also got an audit update. Basically, they're collecting information. They've sent out the fraud questionnaires to people on the board and staff, and those were being returned, and we're still expecting to be able to have a report in April. Any questions? Okay. And Bylaws Committee. Unfortunately, that's me too. We looked at the bylaws last month and agreed to most of these revisions. I don't think there's been anything new since last month. Did you add anything new in here?
I think you had me change a couple.
I mean, I know there was some formatting that we
Yeah,
had
just
fixed.
formatting stuff, that was it.
Okay. Okay, so we need, if anyone has any other changes?
I have one, now that I'm reading it again, I'm not sure. Under membership, section 2,
What page of the bylaws are you looking
2.
at? Okay.
The last line, this appointment, this is in the case of a vacancy. This appointment must be made as soon as possible, but ideally no later than the second regular meeting or meetings. I guess it is meeting,
Yeah.
after the vacancy occurs, so it's fine. After I found that, and then I read it again just now, and I'm thinking, no, it's fine. Okay, I think that's it. All I had.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the bylaws for the board as amended.
So moved.
Verna and Kate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
That's so funny. I read that before, I thought, nope, not right.
And we're on to the Director Evaluation Committee.
Okay, I guess I'll do that. We are going to meet one more time to review the goals. So therefore, this is tabled till next month.
And Jan and I had talked about it, and we felt that was the right thing to do since we were going to be missing 2 of our board members at this meeting, and we really wanted everyone's input.
Agreed.
Okay, on to anything else? On to
No.
communication.
Verna, did you have anything else? No. Okay.
We got a really nice email from one of the moms from the sensory sensitive sessions that, say that 10 times fast, that Fran is doing, she started. And I thought this was really important to share because although the programs have not been well attended, sometimes attendance isn't everything. So to get these notes on how important this was to this family and for this person was, I thought, really important. So it's a good program, and of course, Fran's the perfect person to do it, and so I'm glad to see that it's appreciated.
Any comments?
Good job, Fran.
Yeah, well, and I think it's really important because part of our strategic plan, our goals is to reach more parts of our community that maybe we weren't reaching, and this is kind of a new sector of our community that's important to reach.
I was thinking of that when I said I enjoyed most the module on the EDI, and so I thought of the inclusion, you know. I think that's important too.
Okay. Well, thank you to the library for putting it on and for Fran for doing it. Okay, and we have no unfinished business. New business, Laura?
I would like to ask the board to keep the building open on May 3rd for the M15 garage sale. We usually close at 2, and we would like to stay open till 5 that day. It's tradition at this point.
And will you have adequate staffing?
We will, yeah. And most people are just rearranging their schedules, so it's not necessarily more hours.
It's a pretty big deal, isn't it? I remember when I first moved years ago, I thought, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was trying to go down in 15, so it's
Yeah,
a,
it's a
big
pretty
deal.
busy day for
Yeah.
us. And they really appreciate that our bathrooms are open.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion. Okay, and a second?
Jan.
Jan? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the motion passes. And we're on to the mural.
We have a copy of the mural in your packet. We asked her to stick with the woodland themes, or the woodland animal theme, and so we are going with bear, a cute little bear and some moose. The trees will kind of overflow around the corners, and so this is the mock-up she came to us. It's not necessarily a price thing to be approved by the board, but it is a change to the building, so that's why we're bringing it. She's actually only charging us $900, so which I think is very reasonable.
Wow.
How much was the other one?
The other one was $2,500
Okay.
to do that one.
So we already have the money in the budget?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out of the Friends.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the mural.
I like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Verna? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. We're excited, you know when she's gonna be able to start?
Probably next week. She was just waiting
Oh,
for her approval, so.
Love it.
And she said she'll have it done in 2 days.
Wow.
This is
Wow.
amazing to me.
Because that to me is so
Mhm.
involved, that one.
How much activity is the playroom getting?
A lot.
I know, I've walked in there a
So
couple
much.
times, and every time I go in there, there's somebody in
Yeah,
there.
it's very busy. Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really nice to see, like, especially through the winter, there's not really a place where young moms can get together and have the kids play so they can chat. So I really like it. We see a lot of that.
Oh, and you always see piles of books sitting next to them.
That's always good too. Mhm.
Okay, and on to the 100th anniversary celebration.
So I just wanted to share the marketing committee. We had kind of a brainstorming session and starting to think about our 100th anniversary, which is next year, October of next year. So some of the ideas that we came up with, we're still researching all these things, but some of the things that were mentioned, some banners for the light posts in the parking lot, a 1926 themed gala or presentation, special t-shirts, buttons, a special logo, 100 ways to use your library, an open house on October 9th, 2026, which would be the 100th year, a walking timeline of then and now photos, so lessons from 1926, special swag to give out, a special library card, and publish a history book about the library. So those are some of the ideas that we're looking at for our big gala next year.
So October 9th is a Friday. You would do this all day into the evening, or?
Not sure.
Not
We're
sure?
that far.
Okay, because I'm thinking October 10th is probably Witches' Night Out.
Maybe.
So
Mhm.
be careful about
Yep.
that date, I guess.
Mhm.
A lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
I think we should put banners all through the village.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Uh-huh.
So are you attending the village? Oh, I think you had a conflict with the village board or the village, I don't know, what do they call the organization?
The DDA? The chamber? I was at the village meeting last night, the council meeting.
The council meeting's on Monday nights.
Okay, council.
Yep. But I haven't mentioned it.
Well, it's early.
Yeah, we're still figuring out what we want to do.
Okay.
No, I'm glad you're starting to work on it, because it'll be at work once you
It'll
get
be-
started.
And it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yep.
but,
Is there any fundraising to do? I mean, for any individual family that donates $100 or something, do we have a
Maybe.
sponsor list or something?
Yeah. Like a legacy, kind of a legacy wall or something. That's a good idea.
I'll donate.
Okay, any other discussion on the anniversary? Okay, we'll move on to the children's garden musical instruments.
So we have 3 quotes here that Shauna was nice enough to get for us. The third one, the really goat one, is the one I want you to kind of look at, because that actually has a picture of what it is that we are looking at getting. So these quotes, and it's amazing how it's exact same equipment, and the prices are all over the place. So the first quote is obviously the lowest one, and that's the one we are hoping for approval.
The first or third?
The first one.
But there's no installation on that one.
No, we would have to pay for installation separately once they come in. And we've already got quotes, Sean's got quotes on that, so that'll be a separate,
Okay.
that'll be a separate thing. But so these will be covered by the grant that the music, cultural,
Michigan Arts and Culture Council.
there we go.
M-A-C-C, M-A-C-C.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
grant that we got, so it'll be covered by that.
Question,
Mhm.
what happened to the high school teacher? Making
So
these.
that is still in the works.
Oh,
Tom Roberts from our FOL has been working with the welding teacher at the high school. So there should be a third musical instrument. They're planning on a daisy,
oh,
and they're working with the band class to tune it and make sure that it actually plays notes and music. So it's still in the works, but it sounds like it's happening.
it's made already? Do you know?
It's in the works.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's being made.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I encourage them to try to have it done before school gets out, so that we can have a little open house, so the parents can come and see it, and we can make a big deal, out in the garden. So hopefully we'll be able to install all of them at the same time, ideally, instead of having the installer come and back and forth, so. But we're still waiting on finals for that.
Can you give me an idea how big these are?
I
Like
think
how
the
tall or?
yeah, the mushrooms are probably,
They're made for ages 5 to 12.
Okay,
So if you can imagine a 5-year-old to a 12-year-old, they're going to be at those heights.
okay.
about that big.
Yeah, but the caterpillar is about 2.5 feet wide, kind of deal. I think the largest mushroom is about 2.5 feet wide. The mushroom trio, there's 3 different sizes. There's a large, a medium, and a small. Just a cute little representation of a mushroom forest.
I just wondered because freight is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And I assume they're all metal and heavy duty.
Yeah, they're made for outdoor use.
Okay. And what is this on this one quote, the removal and dump fees?
Yeah.
They're charging us to remove the dirt that would be replaced by the concrete.
Okay, so that would normally be included in installation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is grant money? Okay. MACC?
Yes.
That's what it is.
And do we have enough money to cover installation or just for the purchase?
Yes. I was doing some quick calculation.
Okay.
We should have enough money to do if we choose the first quote, we will have enough money for installation.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the first and third quotes are very close. Well, actually, all 3 of them as far as the equipment.
Yeah, because it's identical.
Yeah. But then, almost 7,000 for installation. Is your installation about 7,000?
It's around 3,000.
Oh, okay.
So many of the companies suggest it, because these companies are in the south, and many of them suggested that we get local installers because it would be cheaper. Otherwise, we have to pay for them to send a union rep out here. Hence, it's a very it's very high price.
Okay, does anyone have any other questions? Now I'll entertain a motion.
I feel like I have no questions, but I can't think of them right now. Okay, installation is how much? Did you say 3,000?
The quotes are coming in around 3,000.
Around 3,000, okay. I guess I'm okay.
All right, do you want to make the motion?
Sure. I move that we approve playgrounds, etc. for $12,749. Do we want to include the installation no, okay. For the children's garden, correct? Is that right?
The musical instrument.
The musical instruments for the children's garden.
Okay. And do I have a second? I'll second. Okay. Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you. I've been wanting to do this project since I got here, so I'm very excited.
Okay, we're on to strategic plan update.
Okay, so, the papers that you have there, there's 4 pages. 4 pages. The gray is the updates, and a couple that I wanted to point out. The teen gaming program, we did buy a Nintendo Switch for the teens to play, so we have a teen lounge scheduled for the kids to come in and play, and I guess there's a lot of excitement about that. I'm not a video game person, but it's a big deal. So that's very exciting, and I think it'll be a really good way to connect with the teens. An update on the Little Free Library. Lori, they're at the point where they're choosing colors, so the high school shop class is making our Little Free Library for us, and that will go out in the Brandon Township. So we've already talked to John Cobb about installation. We're going to install it. So that is almost completed. So that's exciting.
It's going to be in the tree library? Okay.
Yep.
Will it be near the gazebo or?
We're not sure
You're not
exactly
sure?
where yet. We're not sure how far far we want it in, or if we want to keep it closer to the parking area so that it's more accessible, so.
Can I share a 2-minute tidbit about this?
Go right ahead.
So I've had one since 2020 in front of our house, and there is this, I get the same people, which is fine, it's great. So this gentleman always stops, and if I'm in the window or even not, he always waves. So he gets out of his car is pointing towards Verna's house, south, and he gets out of his car, turns and waves, and I happen to be in the window, so I wave back and I went, "Eh!" His car's going down the road without him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm not dressed yet, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, what do I do? So he's chasing it, and he's gotta be well into his 80s, he can't catch it.
Oh, no.
Finally, it hit this big rock, and he jumped in, and he went over the rock. I couldn't believe my eyes. Turned around and came back and got his book.
Well, there's dedication.
Yeah.
Did you have something else you wanted to highlight?
Just the only other thing I was gonna, the sensory kits on page 3 of 4, sensory kits for the public service desk, that turned into the whole Culture City initiative, so that has kind of blossomed a little bit. But
Do you know when you expect to get your certification? I know you said staff has to do the training and pass the test.
And I just sent it out yesterday, and I don't even know if I sent it out right. So Shauna's gonna help me with that, but
Okay.
I know there's a couple people that have already completed it. I think 3 people have already completed it. So I think we have 30 days,
Okay.
but I would like to see it closer to a couple of weeks to
Okay.
get that done.
All right.
I have a question about the children's garden picnic table. Why was it causing discomfort?
It was splintering.
Oh, okay,
Mhm. The
gotcha.
wooden one was splintering.
Okay. And we have a wheelchair, where are we keeping the wheelchair?
It's in the coat closet here.
Oh.
And we also have a walker,
Oh.
so. And then there's a little sign, Alyssa made a little sign for the front door that says if you need a mobility aid to let us know that we can get those for them. So we're trying to do the inclusion. more
That's great.
As much as
That's good.
possible. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, any further comment on this?
I like all the inclusion.
Verna? Jan?
No?
I just want to say I love all the updates. It gives us a lot of information. And I want to give Shauna a few minutes to talk about evaluation.
She's happy.
She didn't want to, but she's going to.
Yeah, I thought you were to take this one, Cheryl.
I said if you weren't here.
Oh, shucks, I gotta go. So as we've gone through this process, we have learned that, so since we're doing it in-house, we are doing it a little differently than normal. So in the past, it was this checklist thing there. We would say, yes, this is done, and then we would quantify it by saying, we have this many items, and we have this many of that done. With us actually building the strategic plan as it comes to fruition, it's harder to evaluate some of these metrics. So instead of taking it to be so granular in how we are going to measure these things, we won't be measuring it from every single item that we put on the list. It will be all measured within the 4 main pillars and making sure that we are accomplishing the things that we need in the 4 main pillars using those objectives. So essentially, we will do more of an actual final evaluation in that last 6 months, or the 6 months after we're done. So after December 2026, that first 6 months of 2027 is when we would do that evaluation metric. To be like, yes, look at all these things that we accomplished and how they are impacting our community. And we'll be able to see how well we did at that point.
Thank you. Very well said. Any questions? Verna?
Not right now.
Jan? reports. Okay, anything you wanted to highlight?
All of it.
Everything?
Yeah. It's just all good. We're very excited about Fran's party. It's coming up pretty soon, so I was glad to see she mentioned it.
Kate, do you have any questions, comments?
I continue to be amazed.
Verna?
I would like to make some comments. It seems that this particular approach to our strategic plan has energized not only the board, but the staff, and I'm really impressed with the results that I'm seeing, not just on paper, but the changes and the energy that I experience when I come into the library. It's calm, but it's exciting. And I'm impressed with the progress and the changes, the positive changes, and I want to thank all of you for your efforts. Good job.
Thank you. Jan?
Ditto. And I can't believe, I do believe, and Shauna, you are so good at grant writing, and to get us another $20,000 grant for the Arts and Cultural Council is just fantastic. We're set, thank you so much for that. And I have to say, as far as all the staff reports together, I love the way this is set up, and it goes right along with the strategic plan. It's just amazing how that's done. And it's well appreciated. I'm not sure who types all this up, prints it all out, but it's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Okay, I had a couple questions. Obviously, I agree with everything that's been said. I am overwhelmed when I read all of this and think, how is all of this being done? Because everybody seems very relaxed and calm when I come in here, and I would expect to see everybody running around trying to get stuff done, but what is Cloud Library? I know you said it's a competitor for Overdrive, which is Libby, right? Is it just something we're looking at? Is it like cheaper, different?
Do you want to talk about that, Shauna?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as Libby, and they offer the same ways of purchasing titles. So we have cost per circ and cost per, we can buy a certain amount of metered titles. So we can buy 100 titles, and then our 100 people can have access to those 100 titles. It's the same or similar platform. It would add to our digital library essentially, but we already have Hoopla, we already have Libby, we already have Blackstone Unlimited. It'd be really hard pressed to add an additional component for patrons to have to remember to log in and use their device for. And the titles that are available are the same ones that are in Libby already.
So could it conceivably replace Libby, or?
It could. It's not very big in the market. Like in the state of Michigan, there's only 4 libraries that use Cloud Library.
Okay.
So it was recently acquired by this group called OCLC, and I think they're trying to revive it a little bit, but I don't expect it. I don't see a lot of talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
What is the cost of that compared to, say, Libby or Hoopla?
So it's the same cost because we're paying for the title.
Okay.
We don't pay for Libby, we don't pay for access to Libby, we pay for access to our consortium, which also buys books for us to use. And then we have a cost for any titles that we individually purchase as a library. So, yeah, we're only buying titles, not the software.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I like, on the bottom of the first page under illicit was talking about the QR code, so you can figure out how many people scan it, how many view the program calendar, register for programs. I think that's really good to keep track of some of that and know what's going on, kind of like views on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, that was part of our marketing committee.
Well, great idea.
So Sean noticed that. And we were really surprised to see that the events QR code got 51 hits last month.
Cool.
So that was a surprise to me that it gets used that much.
Yeah, I think it just gives you more information on what's successful and what isn't.
How to
so.
promote things successfully.
The other question I had is, you talk about a location for free tax preparation.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you do that through? Is that through ARP or?
So yes, that is, I tried to go through, I don't know if it's VITA or VITA, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But with that organization, we would have to provide the volunteers, which I don't think is doable for us. So they are trying to connect me with an ARP representative because
Okay.
ARP brings their own volunteers and we are just the space.
And I think,
Oh.
doesn't the senior center do
They
that?
do, but it's very limited.
Okay.
Like the appointments are very limited, and I think they are maybe a little stricter about who can have the appointments.
Okay.
I don't believe we would have like an age requirement here or anything, but I have not gotten to actually speak to Art. yet, so.
Okay.
I read that as you were gonna be preparing taxes.
Oh, no, no.
And I was like, yay.
And then there was something about future projects, and it says, starting the Southern Brandon Township Services Assessment Committee. What will they be assessing, whether our services are reaching southern part of the township,
And
or,
what we can do to engage them a little bit more.
and how are we going to do that assessment?
I can give you, well, the assessment, that's the hard part.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah.
You want to be on the committee?
Yeah. So, one of the ideas was to put a possible book vending or little free library at Cook's. And some of the staff actually went and talked to Cook's and they were all for it and excited. But then we thought about, okay, a book vending machine is very expensive, and how do we know anyone will use it or not? So that's what the committee's for, to figure those things out, to find out how to assess that, and figure out what we can do to engage them more.
So is there a way that we already know that we're not reaching that area as well as the area directly around the library?
Well, Shauna showed us this very cool map that shows where all of our card holders are.
Of course.
And it, yeah. And it does kind of, trickle off
Okay.
the further you get away from the actual
So
library.
you can see it?
So we can, see, but
Okay.
those are library card holders, whether they come here for programs, we don't know. Or if they come here for other things and just don't have a card, we don't know. So,
Okay.
The Sashabaw Meadows program through Fran, they all have cards, right?
not necessarily.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
And,
That would be a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I think.
No, I think that's great. My next question, what is Local Hop?
Local Hop is the software we use for the event calendar, where you can sign up for programs and,
Because it says take a look on Local Hop. I don't know if that comment was to us, but I have no idea idea how to look on Local Hop to see anything.
That's just our event calendar and where you can sign up for programs.
Okay, because I was talking about the summer programming graphics. Okay. Okay, I think those are all mine, but yeah, just overwhelming, amazing. I'm excited about, a lot of this talks about cross-training that's going on with the staff, and I think that's really good too, so. Very good, thank you.
Yeah, this strategic plan has just blossomed everybody.
It really has.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, have a good night.
You too.
Okay, if no one has any other questions or comments, we'll move on to the statistics.
There is a blank one, reference readers advisory under February 2025. That number should be 602. Missed.
Where are we?
Reference readers advisory,
Where is that?
About a third of the way
about
down.
a third of the way down, just before programs.
Oh, it should be what number?
602.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if you look at our internet logins, our wireless printing is going up, so people are catching on to that, and that's getting a little more popular.
Yay.
And then our hoopla continues to go up and up and up. So that costs us money. But that's okay.
The hoopla costs, I know you said they're going up. Is it books or is it other stuff that's
Mostly
mainly going up?
audiobooks. That's why
Mainly audiobooks?
It's mainly audiobooks, and that's why we decided to try Blackstone. We were trying to get some of our Hoopla users to use Blackstone, but it doesn't quite have the same collection. Blackstone doesn't. With Hoopla, we keep gaining more users. So even if there are people that are using Blackstone, they're using both, which is great. But we're also increasing the numbers.
Does Libby, because Libby has audio too, right? Do they have a better selection comparable
Yes.
to Hoopla?
Comparable to Hoopla? Libby has more, but Libby, you can only one person can have it checked out at a time.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Hoopla has no waits. So a lot of people just don't even check Libby first. They just go to Hoopla because they know they won't have to wait,
Okay.
which is good. I mean, I'm glad it's available to them. But it's expensive.
Well, we'll have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
See where it goes.
Yeah.
Any questions on the stats? Okay. Calendar review coming up in April. Fingers crossed, we'll be approving our audit. And we will also be looking at which is items for the next agenda. Well, let's wait for that. Public comment. Anybody in the audience would like to make any comment? You could say hello. Thank you for coming. Nothing on hold, and we will be looking at director's goals and the budget amendment in April.